Chambers 57. Brad started 63. Mark Scusa, number change, gone to 35, the great man. And Tyler 74. Jack Delahunty 77. Matthew Bailey 78. Yes, Jack Darling, Luke Bury has been dropped this week into the Black Diamond Plate. Gus Darling's been promoted into the first grade side, and that can only be the PPI system coming into play. That's the only reason why.
Yes, very handy inclusion, Angus Darling, David.
Oh, you kidding me? I'm surrounded, ladies and gentlemen, by Collingwood supporters. Our two timekeepers today, Derek and Welsh, are Collingwood men. Lucas Holmes is here. Craig Welsh has been putting up hot pie signs next to me and he's telling me all about Collingwood. So whenever I leave the commentary box today, the IQ in this room will halve. But anyway, because surrounded by the boys, looking forward to working with all of them. We're not very far away here. Again, back-to-back Black Diamond football. Black Diamond played at 9:40. Women's at 11:55. Killarney Vale and Newcastle City. Lucas Holmes' eyes have just lit up. Going to be a cracker. And then this afternoon in the Black Diamond Club, it's the minor premier Terrigal Avoca against the form and the hottest side in the AFL HSC right now, the Singleton Roosters. Just quickly for those of you, Lucas Holmes, there's been a venue change in the other preliminary final. Newcastle number 1 sports ground has absolutely been inundated with rain. The preliminary finals that were scheduled for number 1 have been transferred, Lucas Holmes, to
Rose Point Park in Singleton this morning and afternoon, David.
Indeed. So we'll keep you up-to-date with scores on a very regular basis from all games. The Black Diamond Plate game this morning, very interesting in that weather. The entrance Bateau Bay have had the misfortune of going Muswellbrook, Singleton the last 3 weeks all away, and Newcastle City. So we'll keep you up to date regularly with all scores during the day. Kendall Clawson, Lucas Holmes, David Redden with you at Adelaide Street Oval in Tumbiumby. My great mate Jody Henderson's got the football in the middle, and we're almost ready to go. Warners Bay coming down to our right. I'm suggesting that Warners Bay are running left to right. Lucas Holmes.
Correct. Yeah.
Willis is coming down here.
Yeah, Ethan Formby just in front of us here in defence for Terrigal Avoca as well.
This is going to be an interesting game. Terrigal Avoca, ladies and gentlemen, have not been beaten for 2 years. Warners Bay have been playing convincing football for the last 8 to 10 weeks. Can Warners Bay find a way to get scoreboard pressure on them? Terrigal Avoca's defence, as is the way all through the club, is very good. Kane Gibbs is going to do some damage. He's just come back from play. He's going up to full forward. But Warners Bay have got to get the football to them. Wet weather football. Here we go. Preliminary final day. Adelaide Street Oval. Lucas Holmes, please take us away. We're just about ready to go. And my mate here, Louis, will start us off. Lucas Holmes.
Thank you, David. Delahunty in the ruck for Terrigal Avoca. Francis for Warners Bay. Henderson raises the football and we're away here. Black Diamond Plate, preliminary final here, and we're away. Give that one on Delahunty to the way down. Straight to Scoos. Talking about champagne football in the wet, David. Straight in front. Drop down to the back. They've got Shaw off the ground. Vote there at the back. And Clark smartly goes through for a rush behind. First score, Terrigal Avoca. 1 point. Warners Bay no score. Early doors here. And Clark chips short to Nickel.
Nickel's got to have a big game, Lucas James.
I think Pat Quinn's going to be immensely important today too in this wet conditions for Warners Bay. Down in front there, Stewart playing in front of the ball early. Handball up. Takes the fan there to start it. Gets away. Gone. Tackled from behind, Nickel. There you go, David. Important early. A touch and a tackle early. Plays on. He's going to switch here towards his commentary box side. Goes to his captain in Hoff, who's been impressive in these last few rounds. Clark ducks his head, was legal, and is going to be pinged holding the ball.
Advantage, I think.
Yep, Scoos takes the advantage, goes high, top of the square, outnumber Mark.
Bury, I think.
Deep inside forward 50. And it looks like that man in Bury, David. And Terrigal Avoca looking for the first shot on goal, with the first behind being rushed. Indeed, it is Luke Bury.
Ex-Muswellbrook, does that sound right?
Yes. Bury keeps it low, straight, not enough. Skews to the left. Terrigal Avoca 2 points. Warners Bay no score. Early doors, a minute and a half gone in this first quarter.
Skews getting that football out of the clearance. They've got to be careful of that, because if he gets his hand on the football and open pass today, Lucas, he will do serious damage.
He will, David. Former East Coast Eagle, Mark Skews, and it'll be Ian Bird with the kick out, David.
Mark Skews, Premiership coach in the Black Diamond Cup 2 years ago, of course, in that big grand final win over Cardiff. Great game of footy, actually. Up the back, McKenna nearly flies and takes a scream in this weather. Would have been an absolute miracle. Fitzgerald in and under in 19. Oh, dragged out of that, I thought. Could have got a free kick and did. Clark, 52, down the bottom of this. Nichols just done the frog jump over him. Yep. Clark, terrible ball drop, and you can see the kick's gone sideways, like a Stephen Harmison delivery at the Gabba that was. Terrigal Avoca 2 behinds. Warners Bay yet to score. 2.5 minutes gone. Quarter number 1. Black Diamond Plate preliminary final. Proudly brought to you by on Bar TV, with thanks to Haval at East Maitland and North Gosford. Ball drops. Plays are on that net now. In and under there. Francis in 42 had a blinder at Maitland last week. He was superb.
And one of the best on last week, and that's Quinn with the clearance, but smothered by Bury once again.
And you can see how much water's pooled at the side of the ground. That ball just hit a very large puddle. The drainage of this ground was done a couple of years ago. We wouldn't be here otherwise. So in comes the throw in here. Good throw. Bury tries to grab it, misses. Bury comes back again. Warners Bay in and under. Nichols, one of the tacklers.
Clark being the other.
Interesting to see Clark start back. That's because obviously Gibbs has gone forward, Lucas. And I expect to see Gibbs give Francis a rest on the ruck at some stage as well, because he was very good last week there in the Cup, I thought, in a well-beaten side. In there's Butler. Oh, he might be in trouble here. Gavan. And Henderson says, no, I'll have that, thank you.
Third point, David, was the first option with the fend. Lucky to get away with that one, I thought.
Yep. Beautiful tap out. No, it wasn't Bury that time. That was Delahunty. Brother's going to have a big afternoon today in the Singleton in the Terrigal back line, looking after Dane Coburn and Brasington. Delahunty right-handed. That was a brilliant tap out. You could see that Shipley was reading him. Shipley's got a stack of plays here shepherding, but he can't pick the football up. Those soccers, and you'll see a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo's today, I can guarantee you in this weather. Brad Studdert gets the football, kicks it forward. Bury misses a mark. Well done there by Quinn against a much bigger man. McKenna's got to get a handball out. It doesn't go out for a deliberate. Smothered brilliantly, and that ball's gone a long way into the creek. And the ball will take a fair while to come back in, because that's actually gone way over the back. And you can see the boundary umpire hopping over.
And they've just called time off too.
They've called time off. Thank you for that. Lucas Holmes, you were saying off air you thought it was a bit of a surprise that Nathaniel Fife was captain of the All-Australian side. You thought that Hearn from West Coast could have got the gig?
Media talk, David. Fife was almost a surprise pick. You have Hearn, premiership captain. Thought that may have been the decision, but that's fine. Fife, well-deserved after a stellar season for otherwise Fremantle having a fairly disappointing season.
Gibbs lucky not to get pinged for holding the ball. Very disappointing season. It's cost their coach their job, especially when you see who they recruited. Some of their big man players missed a lot with injury. Jesse Hogan's a quandary for me. I'm not sure if he's as good a footballer as people think he is.
And you do lose Lockie Neal, who is almost maybe a shoe-in for the Brownlow. We were also talking off air.
Oh, it won't be shoe-in. Cripps will be there with him.
Cripps.
Grundy.
Yep.
Danger. Nickel, Scoose in and under. Oh, that's almost a throw against Scoose. That went in the air with an open hand. My understanding is that's got to be almost a throw. Ball comes out here. Delahunty. You can understand how tight this football is. That ball was touched. No mark paid. Matthew Studdert comes crashing through. Gibbs trying to put a tackle on. Nickel does eventually. Oh, dragged over the top of the shoulder. Must be a free kick and picked out the back. Is that Stewart at the back who's got it with the beard?
Correct, yep.
Lucas Holmes.
Trent Stewart holding free kick. So the ball will come back. Advantage wasn't paid. I think Stewart will go long down the line here, you would imagine. Bird providing some run off halfback, and that's where he goes. Short kick. Halfback flank for Warners Bay. Bird chipping ball over the mark. Finds Hoff out in front. Was superb in that tight win over Killarney Vale last week. David playing loose. Goes long down the line in turn, looking for Francis. Gets a hand to it down, almost playing defence in the end. Vogue gets a tackle there on Formby. And Formby returns the favour. And we'll have a ball up, almost true centre wing here. Right in front of the baseball cage here at Adelaide Street Oval.
And that's the drier wing on the ground today, Luke. As you can see over there, there's almost no water pooled. And if you're smart, that's where you play the majority of your footy if you can. Francis, little short kick goes backwards. Can Terrigal Avoca seize on this? Clark, very careful not to transgress over the shoulder. He did that very well, actually. In there was Neil. The Hoff reading that at the back. If Terrigal Avoca cannot afford to let him get loose, because this is what he does. Over to Clark. Clark goes wide. Can he get Dart? Can Dart keep that in? The best scenarios for Warners Bay is that goes out, and it does. Over near the Warners Bay bench. 7 minutes gone, no goal scored, and that's not a surprise. This could be one of those games where 5 or 6 goals wins it, Louis, to be quite honest.
It is, David, and that showed Hoff's skill there, looking to switch in the wet weather too. Supreme confidence, as you'd expect from the plate captain.
McKenna, this boundary umpire's got a great throw in. The ruckman haven't read it yet. Over there looking for a handball was Roach. Good player, Roach. I think he's also from up the Hunter somewhere. Originally. Out to Nickel. This is dangerous for Terrigal Avoca. Nickel gets it forward. First time it's gone forward all day. That could be a mark. No, not paid. Willis. He's got Gibbs with him. He's also got Charlton Brennan with him. Ball comes out the back. Terrigal Avoca's renowned defence. They clear the area momentarily. Got to stay on their feet. Deverell does enough. Worth gets his player out of it. Quinn. Well done, Clark. Deverell's got to get back in there. Sock it off the ground. Again, the area just cleared. McKenna with a good soccer. Wamboozes a couple of plays. Scoos flying through the middle, goes as long as he can. Beautifully read by the vastly experienced Lincoln Stewart, who of course plays representative football last year at Marnica for Black Diamond. That's the best combox Lucas Holmes and I have been. I can guarantee you, beautiful Marnica Oval.
Speaking of representative players, David, Patrick Quinn was unavailable for selection for the plate All Cup sides last week with national touch duty for the Australian side.
Wow. A lot of players in our league play touch footy, don't they? Oh, just steps his man. Can he stand up? Quinn gets it out. McKenna's got to go through 5. That's deliberate. Umpire. That was blatantly deliberate. He's actually handballed that straight out of bounds. Under the rules of the game, that's deliberate, not paid. Watch the ruckman go a bit deeper here. This boundary umpire's getting the ball flying out of his hands. Again, it goes over. Bury reads it best. Shipley. Wide ball. Marking contest. Michael Vo discipline. Good work, Vo. In trouble there was Shaw. Of course, that number's changed. Tiley. Off the ground. Stewart chasing. Roach is the first one there. Stewart was. Stewart can he pick it up? Goes to the left foot. Probably better than his right foot. And out of bounds on their half forward flank. Terrigal Avoca. 9 minutes gone, quarter number 1. 9.25 minutes. It's Terrigal Avoca 2 behinds. Warners Bay to score. Lucas Holmes.
Off the back of a Chambers smother out of bounds. Fired up. At the back here, this one drops a bit short actually. Francis just getting there ahead of Bury. Loses his footing, does Govan. Trying to keep his footing. Can't on that occasion. Goes long down the line. Intercept mark taken by Bird. You'd normally see this try and go straight through the corridor. He's looking for the switch Bird initially, but now should settle and go long down the line. And that's indeed where he goes. Plays on. Bird goes long. Who's he looking for? Charlton Brennan's at the back. Gibbs is there as well. Hack kick out of midair by Charlton Brennan. Couldn't quite get there. Willis has got a paddock. Steps inside Willis. Goes long. Stewart's followed his run down forward. Butler there, full forward. Clark off the ground. Playing both at ends of the ground early. Gets a little scrubby kick out of the side. Interesting to see Stewart this far forward, although we saw that on occasions last week. And now Terrigal Avoca are clear to this outer side. They go forward.
Brilliant
numbers.
Smith.
Yeah. However, McKenna, with that thumping right foot, takes an intercept mark. Back flank. This ball should go back where it came from, David. Called to play on. That's indeed where McKenna goes, long and high. Gray's at the back there, can't quite get in front. Had two Terrigal Avoca players to deal with. Gets picked off, and that one does as well by Quinn. Short. Who's he looking for? Gets picked off this time. Fitzgerald should have probably taken that mark on his chest.
Shoulder, surely. Stewart to put his head down there.
And that's what he was appealing for, not paid. Nichol's got to deal with about 4 or 5 Terrigal Avoca players here at the drop of the ball.
Off the ground.
Gibbs at the back. Gets the
Dangerous
kick,
play.
but it was dangerous.
Just got that was perfect call. Hello, Belinda. How are you? Belinda Jenkins in next to us in commentary. Unfortunately, Belinda not playing today. Injured, we believe, Belinda.
Just a couple of little injuries.
Just a couple of injuries.
Saved
Great.
myself for the grand final.
Very good. Lovely to see Belinda here with us in the commentary box. And good luck to your girls today. Hope you all have a good day at the office. What colour hair's the sister got today?
I think it's pink.
We'll be able to spot her then.
Yeah, definitely.
Catch up with you in the day. Thank you for coming up to say good day.
Thank you. See
Belinda
you.
Jenkins. Yep, say you bye-bye. Quinn handball out. Gray's got a chance here. Can he pick it up, Piggy? No, eventually he does. Actually put his body well on the line there. Got hit for it, but did a good job. Coming out wide. McKenna will just work that out with the little Joey Johns grubber. It's a very clever kick, actually, especially if they get the ball out. You'll see a lot of this today, but that soccer's picked up by arms. Force him back. Oh, that's got to be over the shoulder this time. Surely that's over the shoulder. What's McKenna supposed to do? Barlow thumped over. That is a ridiculous decision. Barlow had no prior, and there was a clear over the shoulder earlier. Anyway, away we go. 53, did I just see? Not, there might have been 53. Stewart's got a chance here to thump this forward, and does. Gets good purchase on it. Warners Bay players have to get in front. They're getting picked off by a very good Terrigal Avoca backline. There's a reason they finished first. Good tackle. Nickel gets it forward. Gray. Oh, very well defended actually by Studdert. Left foot kick forward. Willis a chance, couldn't pick it up. He grabbed the space. Another chance, Willis. Off to the ground, and it's a behind. Warners Bay first score of the day. Warners Bay 1 behind. Terrigal Avoca 2 behind. Lucas James Holmes.
Thank you, David. Looks like it'd be Ethan Formby or Foley with a kick out. Looks like it may be Formby.
Now, John Butler's down here on his own, Lucas. Almost sweeping it. He's gone the other side. So Formby's smart enough. Goes to his natural side. Sorry, mate.
He does, goes long, gets picked off there by Charlton Brennan. However, Butler's on there too, as you were alluding to before, and there's a 50-metre infringement there.
You're kidding. Wow, that's going to be 10 metres out, I think, Louis.
Should be, and it'll be directly in front of goals too, so it should almost be a certain goal here by Charlton Brennan.
In this weather. Goodness me, your 50-metre penalties in that area today are just going to get magnified, Louis.
I wonder what that was for, David. Maybe an infringement forward of the mark, you could only suggest, but I'm not so sure with that one. However, it's the result that's going to count here. Well, it should do. Charlton Brennan with that strapped right knee. Comes in. And slots the first goal of the game, David. Warners Bay take the lead. 1-1-7 to Terrigal Avoca's 2 points after 14 minutes of elapsed time here.
What a start after Terrigal Avoca had most of the football. We thank Belmont 16-footers, and a lot of us are going to be at Belmont 16-footers on Wednesday night for the Elliot Davey Middle Night. It's a superb night, one of the best nights of the year. Vote count, interviews, a lot of fun, good food, good company at a superb venue, Belmont 16-footers in Belmont. Not very far from Lucas James Holmes' house, very close. A bit further for me, but looking forward to being part of that night and sitting down and having a good feed, Lloyd.
It will be good night. Good evening, David, as well. Start of the 4th Ashes test.
Indeed. Not worry about the cricket so much in my case, but yes, so luck with the football. Back to Lucas.
Thank you, David. Back to the middle we go. Delahunty and Barlow now taking his time in the middle. Nichol's probably been one of the best players on the ground so far. Front and centre, hacks it forward for Warners Bay. Immediately goes out. At the ground there is Roach. Uses his left boot to go to this outer side. Francis looking like he's gone back. And in that case, gets a nice one-fisted punch to go out of bounds. Right in front of that small Warners Bay crowd there on the outer side.
It's funny, we were here 12 months ago for a preliminary final. The Warners Bay crew were over here, if you remember. I think that was the Sunday prelim final, wasn't it? Warners Bay and Terrigal in first grade.
Correct, David.
Butler in front's got to stay on his feet. It's interesting how many players Buckley's gone with that are tall players during the day, especially when that ball gets wetter. I would expect to see 1 or 2 players like Butler and try and get 1 or 2 of the smaller, more mid-sized players.
Mobile.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Players, especially who can pick up at ground level, Lucas. Tapped out of kicked out of there actually by Damon Smith. Oh, good contest there. Out of there, that was Green.
Yep.
Green tackled beautifully. Been good tackling so far. That ball's got to go in the full, Cyril Nickel. Very clear. Lucky there not to get 50. Kirkman. Warners Bay get in there in numbers in defence. Bury. Good tackle. Gone. Umpires have been consistent on that this morning, Lucas. It's been very good.
They have Neil now use this to the outer side. Looking for Stewart. Charlton Brennan's there as well. We'll look to Shepparton. Does very well there, did Charlton Brennan. Stewart just hacks the ball forward. Looking for Govan. Almost infringed over the shoulder there. Slides in legally. We'll need to get rid of this ball. But did he do it legally?
Wow,
No.
that's a hot holding the ball decision. I thought he made every effort. Yes, he was tackled legally. Gracious. Anyway, interesting decision. Over on the baseball cage, Roach. And I'd expect Roach, as the ball gets heavier, Lucas, will come into play. Must have been called a play because the Warners Bay player went straight over the mark. Shipley. Nickel pushes him off balance. Nickel has been very good this morning. Charlton Brennan, the only goal kicker in the match. Green. That's a dangerous kick. Got to get in front. Willis goes to ground, and that's not advisable. You've got to keep your feet in this weather if you can. All very ought to be knocked over. You've got to start on your feet. Roach picks it up one-handed brilliantly. Flying through the middle is Stewart. Puts a lovely little right foot step on, but kicks it to no one in particular, with the exception of Gething. Willis is on the mark. Yeah, goes sideways. Play on called. Started in front. Will he get that mark? Yes, he will. Third grab in front of Hoff. Too big, too strong. Matthew started the coach. Goes long and driving ball. That's a good ball, but it's picked off by Clark, who clearly Lucas Holmes is playing across half back at the moment. Lucas.
Very good ball user is Clark too. Goes almost straight down the middle looking for Hoff. Almost infringed did Hoff. And that was the right call. Going to Roach. Advantage was paid. I'm not sure if that was continuous. Uses the outer side, did Roach. Looking for Shaw forward, and the ball go out of bounds deep inside forward
What
50.
did you see in that decision that was fair against Hoff?
For a block. So
Hoff came across and punched the ball off Roach at the contest, didn't he? Who blocked? Who blocked?
But I think it was paid for not having Roach getting for an attempt at the marking contest, so it was paid for a block. The ball gets touched off the boot, doesn't know, inside forward 50, inside the square, gets punched through from behind. Terrigal Avoca's third for the day, 3 points. Warners Bay 117.
Can you continue on with commentary, Lucas, and I'll get our wonderful listeners an update of score from Rose Point Park in Singleton. So, wow, there's a surprise. The entrance batter Bay are 23 points up over Newcastle City deep in the first quarter. The entrance batter Bay 3-5-23. Newcastle City yet to score, Lucas Jones.
You wouldn't see many times where Newcastle City have no scores in quarters, David. Wouldn't happen very often.
No.
Bird trying to trap the ball off the throw-in that went a little too far. Gibbs in and under, so is Roach. Getting harassed there by Nickel. Does very well there, actually, to keep his feet. Francis is in and under. Will get wrapped up and there won't be prior opportunity.
Oh, sir! Lucas made a comment just then, ladies and gentlemen. There was a comment you just made that there wasn't prior. How is that holding the ball? That is not a correct decision. We move on. Formby from distance. Puts it up in the air a bit. A lot of Terrigal Avoca plays it. And that's almost a mark to Bury. Oh, gee, in this weather, that's almost 3 grabs. Quinn in under. Please don't play holding the ball decision against him. So, a couple of very interesting holding the ball decisions. Still in a very dangerous area for Terrigal Avoca to score. Bury tries to grab it. Stewart goes to ground. Like a rugby maul on there. Who's over it? Umpire quite wisely says, oh, that's mine. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Thank you, Craig Welsh. One of those calling. That's off the ground and goal. I'm sure that's a goal. It's a behind. So it's been called touched. Terrigal Avoca 4 behinds. Warners Bay 117. The ball's into play. Out there in the back line. Out there at half-back fair. Is that Charlton Brennan out there?
Indeed it is, David.
Stewart. Called to play on. Gets a handball away. Got to play waiting for him in Bird. Got to get rid of it. That's a one-hand handball. Skuse loitering with intent. Right at the death of the quarter mark. Skuse! Another behind. Terrigal Avoca 5 behinds. That is quarter time. Terrigal Avoca 5 behinds. Warners Bay 117 off a 50-metre penalty. Fascinating first quarter. Could be a very close game. Lucas Holmes and I have a quick break to rest the tonsils. We'll be back with you shortly for the start of the second quarter. Right, put the microphones down. How many freaking holding the ball decisions were there? There were 3 or 4 in a row that they were right on. And the first half of the quarter, they were stacking them right. Bang. But go on, have one over there, throwing it on him, he's got a handball out, and then this one just standing there, that was crazy. When Lucas says it should be no prior, and he's an umpire, it's the fairest man on earth. You have the bite, and I'll come back and talk. No, just give me... Lucas, can you start? I'll just have another... please. Yep. I'm right. I'm right to go.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, Campbell. Welcome back here to Adelaide Street Oval. Warners Bay 1-1-7 leading Terrigal Avoca 5 behinds here at quarter time. And we're going to go around the grounds here to Rose Point Park and Singleton, David, for an update.
The update is that's an amazing scoreline. I don't think anyone in the league would have tipped that. The entrance Bateau Bay at quarter time. 3 goals, 6-24. Newcastle City 0-0-0. So Newcastle City, assuming it's a bit wet at Rose Point in the bowl there, gracious me, that's a big turtle. That's massive.
Especially in the conditions that we're seeing down here, David, and probably a bit up there, maybe just to a lesser extent, you would think.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of this rain has fallen in the one area that doesn't need it as much as Western New South Wales. When you go back home, you go up there. There were photos this week of like areas of the Central Coast next to Dubbo, and it's just brown. It's awful. So cheer out all of our people out there in Western New South Wales. Lucas lives there. I come from there. It's a beautiful part of the world, but gracious me, it's dry. This ground has drained very well. The water's really starting to disappear. Still wet weather football. Lucas Holmes.
Back to the middle we go. Francis Delahunty once again. Delahunty on the right, on the way down. Roadshows with his unpreferred right foot, goes forward. Mark takes a sliding mark to Bury. Mark about 48 metres out from goal.
Scoose on short. Still short, Scoose. Bury's gone long. That might go out of bounds to the full. Oh no, it's just taken inside. That's a tough angle from here, Louis. Now, is this Smith? No, it's not.
It's Fitzgerald, David.
Is he left-footed? The way he's going here, he's going to go left foot. Yeah, he is. So he's going to go Stevie J left-footed from a very, very deep pocket. Runs inside! I think he's kicked that. Goal umpire. That's a goal. Superb effort. Terrigal Avoca in front. Jack Fitzgerald's first goal and Terrigal Avoca's first goal of the day. Score check for you. Terrigal Avoca 1-5-11. Warners Bay 1-1-7. With thanks to our sponsors, Hunter Haval, Belmont 16-footers, ISC, Awards Are Us, and CFM Lucas James Home.
Thank you, David. Quick start by Terrigal Avoca, just what they were after. Back to the middle once more. Francis and Delahunty resuming their battle. Looks like Scoos has gone forward too, David. Not in the centre at the moment. Roach out of the middle on that right boot once more. Long and high. Hoff doing the defensive thing at the back and spying. And that's right, David. Scoos has gone forward. An interesting one from what we've seen in the past. Hazard handball goes out wide, just trying to buy Warners Bay backline some time. Little scrappy handball back inside. Picked off by Nickel. Ideal for this weather. Very well built. In the middle of his body. Goes long and high. Charlton Brennan at the back, goes to Gibbs on his favoured left side, can't get a little scrappy right foot kick, and Terrigal Avoca look to exit once more through Formby. A pack of Warners Bay plays there, nice sliding mark there by Francis.
Was it paid? I think it's been paid a half volley, Louis.
It has. And no complaints there by the looks of it. Over the top there, gets a hand to it on the way down. Warners Bay have plenty of numbers at the fore of the football. Nickel once again, long and high. Scrappy football inside forward 50. Where's the marking going to be taken? Foley gets taken out of there by Charlton Brennan. This ball goes to the back. Leading the chase in and under there. Gets the ball up. Where's the numbers going to go? Breaks one tackle. Does very well there to get a kick away. It looks like it's going to come straight back through there by Hoff. Can't quite take the mark. McKenna gets a little clip high. Wasn't seen at the back. Tilly's in and under there. Where can he go? Looks to go inboard, underground to Scoos. Knocked out there legally and almost slung there by Stewart. It was legal, however. Tilly in and under. Francis takes the ball, gets immediately tackled, drags it back in. Lucky to get rid of it. Green, likewise. Scoos in and under there. Expertly experienced in these conditions. Bury ducks his head, so there'll be play on, goes to the outer side. Stewart applying the pressure there. Was dragged out after the football, and that was paid. After disposal against Quinn.
Good call, Lucas. Clark is with it. Oh, dissent. Are you joking? In a preliminary final, And Riley Lux decided that's enough of that. And Clark's going to run in here and kick from point-blank range and kick Terrigal Avoca's second goal of the quarter. You cannot do that in a final. You can't do it any time. John Clark a goal. The score check is Terrigal Avoca 2 goals, 5-17. Warners Bay 1-1-7. 2 quick goals back-to-back by Terrigal Avoca, and they're back in front by 10 points. Lucas James Holmes.
Thank you, David. Back to the middle we go once more. Yeah, interesting to see Screws not starting in the centre square and starting forward, David. They've got a clear plan there, obviously.
Well, they're behind, so they've come out really with intent to score, haven't they?
They sure have. Back to the middle we go. Jody Henderson with the ball up. Delahunty on the way back down. Direct centre clearance once more. Goes long and high looking for Brewery. Can't quite take the mark. Stewart in there to pilfer. Pressure applied there by Tilly. Fitzgerald gets the hands up looking for Shipley. Can't quite get there. Dragged out of it maybe Shipley by Green. Not seen. And we'll have a ball up. No more than 48 or 49 metres out from Terrigal Avoca's goal once more. All this second quarter played exclusively in the forward half for Terrigal Avoca. Francis with the left hand down. Straight to Roach. Long and high. Roach inside forward 50. Bury at the back. Keeps his feet. Stewart will be looking to try and get this ball through for a point. Expertly trips and gets it through for a point.
Wow. There's a case there for being under no pressure. Clark at the back with the kick out. Will he go his natural side? No. Yes, he will now. He's gone short. Is it Stewart over there? Oh, picked off! Picked off by Shaw. And it'll be a throw-in. Gee, lucky there, Warners Bay. Could have been 3 goals in a row. Now, this umpire's really getting purchased with his throws. The ruckmen have got to go back further. And they've read it now. Barlow and Bury. Greens puts on a step, and that creates clearance for him, and away he goes. Warners Bay have got to start getting their hands on football. They're second to the football this quarter. Terrigal Avoca all over him like a cheap suit, to be frank. Butler, left-hand handball comes out just to Quinn. Worst haircut in Australia other than mine. And Barlow picks up that football at half-back flank. Big tall unit, Barlow. He'll give Delahunty some real competition in the ruck. Contest, Gibbs gets a punt, gets the ball down, punch the ground. Foley, Roach, chased by Francis. Short ball, Roach, perfect to Shipley, out in front of the home plate over there. Another perfect of his scoos on the fly, using both sides of his body as he can. He's such a skillful player. Would love to have seen him at his absolute best. Great tackle! McKenna, superb and paid. Really, he shouldn't have grabbed McKenna there at all. It should have theoretically been 50 minutes to McKenna, but anyway. McKenna with the left hand, recovered Lucas from that love tap to the head. Goes wide out towards home plate. Gibbs flying in. The big fella's got to get involved here. Quinn. Terrigal Avoca again really putting pressure on at the start of the second quarter. Gibbs. No, ball swerves away from him right at the death. Just mistimed his jump. Green. Barlow in and under, doing what he has to. Butler. Really tough, wet weather footy here at the moment. Clearance. Great tackle by Green. Correction, Neal that time. Stewart just clears the area. Got to have solid hands here, Harrison. No, it wasn't Deverill. That's Gavan, is it?
Yep.
And Govan, because he was over the football, gets a slightly crude tackle and gets a free kick as a result. Govan kicks it as far as he can. It's a poor kick, unfortunately, for Warners Bay. Charlton Brennan running through. That was incidental. That's not 50 metres! Oh, help me, please! That was incidental. He was right at the mark. Oh, man, that's not right. Gracious me. What is doing here? He's gone 1 metre over the mark. The umpire didn't realise it. Kicks it forward. Where are the big flies? Bury at the back. Stewart's going to put that through, which he had a right to do that time. He was under pressure. Was entitled to rush the behind. 2 goals of difference, Lucas Holmes. Terrigal Avoca 2-7-19. Warners Bay 1-1-7. Lucas Holmes.
Thank you, David. Trying to dry this football. As expect there with that big pole in the goal square protruding onto the playing surface. Bird called to move it on now. Move out of the square. One of the better rule implementation changes of this season, rather. Bounces off the chest there of Roach. Gets taken to ground as Francis will have no prior opportunity. Good tackle there by Foley.
You said that earlier on today.
That time it wasn't though. Barlow comes charging and gets a nice left-hand tap out. Screws is taking the ground almost high the first time I thought by Quinn.
The contact was marginal, wasn't it? It was very high on the shoulder bicep. Could have been over the shoulder. Scoot's not a very tall man. Keep going, mate.
Barlow once again, bit of a lower throw. Favours Barlow in that instance. Gets a thumping right hand out. Nickel evades one, tries to go underground to Quinn. Can't quite get there. Taps it to the outer side. Roach goes on the ground. Clark's almost playing loose at the back there by the looks of it, David. Until he gets that ball helpfully out of bounds.
Might be out of bounds in the fall off Tyler here. Is Clark was after... No. Essential umpires overruled there. Clark was after out of bounds in the full right at the death and it hasn't been paid. Barlow. Who's rucking against him?
Fitzgerald.
That must be a free kick to Barlow. Who's doing some damage, actually. He's getting some ball. Warners Bay need more out of Gibbs in particular. Nickel's got to keep going at them. Gray's going to need to come up the ground and look for some football. Tunnelling there almost. Stays on his feet. Goes long, does Neil. Very long. Very long. That ball's gone. That's the way to play football in this weather. Chased hard. Dart's got to get onto his man. Can he use his body to bounce off him? He at least needs a stoppage here. Dart gets the ball out of bounds. He's done very well and got it. That's really well done by Dart. He was out of the play there, and he's got a stoppage up there in half forward flank. The long kick, Lucas, in this weather. It's always the same way, isn't it?
It is, David. Good clearing kick there by Neil, and Dart did very well to trap it inside forward 50 for a stoppage, and they had a few of them.
Little short kick is smothered by Butler. Nickel soccers one. I didn't think that was 15. I thought it was more like 10, and it was played that way. Neil is chasing. Terrigal Avoca is just creating so much space there, plays, but Neil's got a chance here. Well done. Over towards Green. Butler just rushes the kick. At least it's two a Warners Bay player, and there's a stoppage there. Good punch out. Jason Buchanan out there running. And Warners Bay need to get a goal shortly to get some parity here. Lucas Holmes, if you could take over, we'll get a score from Rose Point Park and Signals.
Will do, David. Good to see Nick Turner out there running water as well.
Yes, so, that ankle hasn't been good.
No, it hasn't, from what I've heard as well. Not in a good way, Nick Turner.
This is a compelling story from Rose Point Park. The entrance Batto Bay are 5 goals in front of Newcastle City. The score 4-7-31 to 1 behind. That would be a huge upset, Lucas Holmes, particularly seeing as Newcastle City had the week off.
Indeed, David. Ball cleared from the centre, from the stoppage, goes to the outer side. Barlow does very well not to infringe there. Player ducked his head, so that was fine. Quinn goes out of midair and will go out on the full, will it? No, out of bounds.
Now, that goal umpire's giving that out of bounds. What is the decision? I think it will. I think you're right. Is that? Yeah, I'm sure Bruce Edmondson over there in the corner, the AFL HSC photographer, taking photos along with my missus today here at Adelaide Street. So Francis and Delahunty.
I see McKenna just floating at the back there for a quick cleared kick out of the
Francis! Waiting, goal. And all from a short throw-in, Lucas, wasn't it?
Indeed. Ruckman playing in front. Lachlan Francis with a goal. Much needed there for Warners Bay to get them within a straight kick. Warners Bay 2-1-13. Trying Terrigal Avoca 2-7-19.
ISC have been at the cutting edge of designing and manufacturing apparel from grassroots to elite sporting teams for over 20 years and are proud to be the preferred apparel supplier of the Hunter Central Coast AFL for the 2019 season. Back to 1 goal here. Warners Bay right in this, Lucas Holmes, at the moment. Although Terrigal Avoca, to be fair, have had a very, very good quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to duck out and do a press interview on Coast FM, so I'll leave you with Lucas Holmes. I'll get as Lucas asked for, the tablet over there to do the scoring. You're right, Louis?
Thank you, David.
I'll be back with you in 6 or 7 minutes.
See you shortly, David. Back to the middle we go. Ball taking a while to get back to the centre. Are they looking for a replacement football? I'm not too sure. So time will be called off. And the ball is coming back to the centre now. It's been trapped down there. Much needed goal there for Warners Bay, and Lachlan Francis been one of the better players this year. Lachlan Francis has come on leaps and bounds in terms of skill development. Played mostly in the ruck this season as well. They've got a plethora of ruckmen today. Warners Bay, Barlow, Dart can also pinch hit in there. Also as well, Francis. Quinn at the defensive centre, a bit of a low throw favouring Barlow that time. Has been recalled, has it? It has. Umpire Henderson will throw this football up once more. After the throw didn't favour either ruckman, give them a genuine attempt at the football. So it'll be rethrown. There we go this time. Barlow once again, no. Delahunty straight down to Roach. Inverted torpedo there by Roach. Gets the ball forward to Studdert. Steps inside McKenna. Does the tackle stick? No. Studdert having a flying effort on goal. Bird gets a touch straight to Stewart. Stewart will run the outer side flank. Will go long down the line. Gets picked off there by Smith. Tim Smith. There's the 50-metre line, ladies and gentlemen. So the man on the mark will be known about 45 metres out from goal, which will be a tough kick in these conditions with a heavy wet weather football. Smith still allotted to take his 30 seconds, however. Chips inside. Is that 15 to Formby? Yes. Man on the mark. About 40 metres out from goal. Ethan Formby. And you see a lot of players there looking at the top of the square. I'm not sure if his kick will take the full distance. That's why the players are looking on the line. McKenna holding that hole so no players can lead out. Very smart there from the experienced McKenna. Formby, this ball's going to drop short just on the line and punch through for a point. Terrigal Avoca, 3-8-20, leading Warners Bay 2-1-13 with 14 and a half minutes of elapsed time here in this second quarter. Black Diamond Plate preliminary final. Looking for a spot in the grand final next week at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. Bird. Stewart's on here. Short if he would like to go to him. Ignores Stewart. Bird goes long with a mongrel out looking for Dart. Dart does very well. No, didn't quite get a hand to it. Mark taken. Bury. Looking for players inside 50. Studdert leads. Ignored. Bury will go long and high then. About 25, 30 metres out from goal. Punched down by Stewart at the back. Gets it to Quinn, gets a quick hack left foot kick. That started on the right. Boot! Punched on the line into the post. Very disciplined there by Ian Bird. Behind once more for Terrigal Avoca. 2-9-21 Warners Bay. 2-1-13. 15 of the quarter gone. Clark to the outer side. Who's he looking for? No one in particular. Picked off there by Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald goes on the right foot inside looking for Tilly. Goes over the back. Here's Shaw alone and unattended. Ryan Shaw off the outside of his boot. Kicks the goal. Ryan Shaw. Goal for Terrigal Avoca. 3-9-27. Warners Bay 2-1-13. Awards Are Us. Established over 25 years ago, Awards Are Us pride themselves on the ability to supply high quality work and personal professional service. David and Lisa are experienced at fulfilling the most complex of needs of their clients. Special deals are all available for AFL Hunter Central Coast clubs. Good finish there by Ryan Shaw, outside of his right boot. Gets Terrigal Avoca into the lead and further ahead once more. Ryan Shaw and John Clark, the goal kickers for Terrigal Avoca. And I'm missing one more. Jack Fitzgerald as well. And for Warners Bay, Jai Charlton Brennan and Lachlan Francis. Here we go once more. Looks like Michael Willis is moving in the middle there for Warners Bay as well. There's Clark. Can't quite keep his feet that time to Clark. Shipley's in and under in the middle there. Also can keep his feet on this occasion. The ball chapped under there by Willis. And we'll have a baller just to the commentary box side of the centre here. Almost right in front of us. Gibbs out-muscles his opponent. Gets a nice left foot kick forward and will look for the boundary. And that's where it'll go in front of Harrison Deverill and Liam Townsend, and we'll have a stoppage. This ball will come in here. Half forward flank for Warners Bay. And David's returned to us rather quickly. I'm sure we'll have an explanation here. Ball out of bounds once again in front of Deverill.
It's possible that the phone reception's caused the problems. I'm down to about a bar and a half. This is a bad spot for it, but I went outside and no calls come through. So back with you, ladies and gentlemen. A goal there to Shaw. Was it up there? I was in the pocket watching. Yep. Warners Bay need to score and score quickly. Terrigal Avoca's kicked 3 goals this quarter. Well, that could be very important in this weather. Nickel, almost BOG today. And I'll get you an update, Lucas Holmes, you can take over a second.
Thank you. Out of bounds once more. Had 2 or 3 stoppages on that far flank. Nickel was lucky to get away with that one, I thought.
And back come Newcastle City. The entrance batter bay 4-8-32. Newcastle City have woken from their slumber 2-1-13. 19 points of difference at Rose Point Park, nearing the end of the second quarter. Gibbs has gone onto the ball. Big tackle, almost unnecessary at the end there. Umpire blowing the whistle well before then. So Barlow and Bury. Barlow wins that right-handed. Quinn, steps 1, steps 2, just gets a little grubber out. Typical wet weather football this is. And it's amazing how much this ground has dried up at surface level, Lucas, since we started with no rain. You can see that there's almost no puddles left on the ground. It's still very wet, but it's amazing how well it's recovered. And for mine, it's a justification of the decision not to transfer the game to Passage Road, Lucas.
It sure is, though. When we came in earlier this morning, ladies and gentlemen, there was clear puddles in front of us here in the commentary position. Only a few now. Shows how well this drainage is coming in leaps and bounds in previous years. And as David goes again, left with me for a while, Barlow slides in legally, gets pilfered by Roach. He'll go to the outer side. Willis will want to try and keep that in. He would like to try and keep it back in. However, he can't on that occasion. We'll have another stoppage here on this commentary box side. Just forward to Warners Bay's end of centre wing. This ball will be thrown in. Who we got here? Gibbs at the back. Uses his body. Can't quite get the ball out. Gets a little shove afterwards. Can't quite get it out. Green. Butler goes cautiously off the ground. Francis gets knocked off the football. Is it going to move around in there? It doesn't. Finally ends with Green and Shipley. And we'll get a stoppage. Just on the edge of the centre square there. Was it a free kick? Free kick off the ball going the way of Kane Gibbs. Must have been for an issue after play. And Kane Gibbs looks like he's going to go for a shot on goal. Very long kick, Gibbs, but I think the distance, especially with this wet and heavy football, may just test him slightly. Gibbs, looking at this shot on goal. This funky ball drop of his. Gibbs starts that a bit right. It's going to fall well short of the goal line at the back. Stewart looking for a tall marking option. Francis at the ground. Asked to give the ball back to the umpire for a ball up. No more than 15 or 20 metres out from goal. Barlow with a right hand down looking for Francis once more. In and under there. Needs to get this football out, otherwise he might be in a bit of trouble. No. It was Chambers at the bottom of that pack. And the umpire once again asks us for the football. Another ball up. 15 or 20 metres out from Warners Bay's goal. Delahunty down to Butler. Gets a little scrubby kick forward. Where's this ball going to end up? There's a pack there. Can't quite see. Gets it out to Roach. Quick left foot hack out of the air. Stewart and Hoff come in. Almost spoil each other. Ryan Clark goes the bump. Can't quite get there. Bury hacks his ball out now. His Pasha down to the front. Here's Bird at the back. Tries to get away from his opponent. Does well to get a screwing ball to the outer side. Who's leading the race here is Farquhar. Hoff gets in front of him. Goes back to Hoff. Will this ball go out of bounds? Hoff applies the pressure to Farquhar. Gets it forward to Shaw. Shaw goes not 15 off the ground, or it is paid for a 15-metre mark. Interesting one, that one. Interesting decision. Thought it may not have gone 15, but umpire adjudicated it has, so that's all that matters in the end. Sliced off the outside of his right boot. Stewart in front. Almost should have maybe been paid the mark. Gibbs gets away with a sling there, I thought, on Bury. And will be called for a ball up. Trent Stewart at the bottom of that pack. Roach and started applying the pressure. And we'll have a ball up. Just inside, Terrigal Avoca's attacking forward 50. Gibbs having some words there for umpire Luck. Grabs it out of the air, does Gibbs. Gets a little scrubby kick looking for Deverell. In and under there is Francis. Ball's coming back where it came from. Bury's in front. Can't quite get there. Terrigal Avoca got numbers at the football. There's 3 or 4 or 5 of them there. And there's half time, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-goal quarter there for Terrigal Avoca. 1 there for Warners Bay. Terrigal Avoca at half time. 3-9-27. Lead Warners Bay 2-1-13. David, excuse me. David and I will have a short break here, and we'll come back to you for the second half of this Black Diamond Plate fixture between Terrigal Avoca and Warners Bay. Welcome back here to Adelaide Street Oval in Tumbiumbi. Second half of this Black Diamond Plate fixture between Terrigal, Avoca and Warners Bay is fast approaching.
Score check from Rose Point Parking Signal. Newcastle City can quite strongly there. The entrance Bateau Bay, 4 goals, 8-32. The Newcastle City 2-1-13. That wouldn't be a monumental upset. It would be an upset. Newcastle City not even Terrigal Avoca this year. And the entrance Bateau Bay have done a lot of frequent flying points in the last couple of weeks. You wonder how their legs are. But very interesting score. And of course here Terrigal woke up by 14 points at home. So that's not comfortable.
Continue to do that. Looks like Kalani Vale have got an unchanged side heading into this monumental matchup later on with Newcastle City here. They'll be coming up from it's a 12 o'clock start, so it will be on air from 11:55 for a short break after the conclusion of this fixture. Looks like the sun's starting to break the clouds here at Adelaide Street as well, which is good to see.
I can't believe how well this ground's improved in the last hour. It's there was what, particularly on your screen right now, is the shot that I'm talking about. Kendall, that's what Kendall has, his stationary shot. There were puddles everywhere here. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it was dry underneath, but look how the drainage has worked. There is a puddle right in the slot there between centre half and full forward, down that spine where it gets a bit grubby here at the ground due to so much traffic. But this ground has really recovered very well. Lucas, dare I say it, if we may actually get some marks taken later on. The other thing that's interesting is there's a breeze that's just picked up. It's going from the bottom right to the top left of your screen. So this will be favouring Terrigal Avoca in this third quarter. Just about ready to rock and roll here. Lucas James Holmes, Kendall Clausen, our wonderful EP and head cameraman, and David Redden with you. Adelaide Street Oval in Tumbiumbi on an ordinary afternoon in late August. Wouldn't be anywhere else at all. I'm not sure about being surrounded by 3 Collingwood fans, but other than that, it's not too bad. Well, she's giving me the death stare there. Just about ready to rock and roll. Lucas James Holmes.
Thank you. Back to Delahunty and Gibbs in the middle this time. David played the last part of the second quarter there as well. Give that one Delahunty looking for screws, much like the first quarter on the way down. Bows in and under if he so often does. So is Nickel. Gets the first clearance of the afternoon. Area that they could improve so far. Dart looking for Butler out of the square. Can't quite get there. Foley's gone to him. Gets it to Wills out of the middle. Gets a little scrubby right kick. Foley almost disposed of after the football. Dart goes to Shipley to Shepherd. Probably the right thing to do in that occasion. Nick goes up the top of the square. Anderson does very well to get the ball to ground. Two Terrigal Avoca defenders were on him. Francis in and under there. Gets an interesting disposal back to Green. Green goes looking for Nickel on the outer side. And then Barlow will apply the tackle there. Along with Nickel will have a stoppage deep in Warners Bay attacking 50.
Warners Bay need to be within one kick and go down 3/4 time. Lucas from mine, if they're going to be a chance.
I tend to agree with you on that one, David, especially considering the conditions. Delahunty gets it back. Inside forward 50. Mark taken, playing in front. Arms. The right thing there. In front of Willis.
Anderson doesn't have to clear out because he's on his man.
Within the 2 metres, it's the right thing to do. Pack mark there, spoiled. Bury trying to get the ball out. Scrubby kick forward there by Scoos into the middle. Stewart always playing in front as he so often does. Scoos butters up for more, gets it to the outer side. That's Bury. Gets a nice actually kick off the ground in the end. Gets the clean hands out more. You see the skills. Farquhar goes around on his right boot, goes long, deep forward. Hoff at the back. They've got one over the back here. This is going to be a certain goal for Terrigal Avoca, and it is. Oscar Baker, alone and unattended at the back. Fast start once again for Terrigal Avoca. Out to 20 points the margin. 4-9-33. Warners Bay 2-1-13.
The Central Coast #1 station for hits and old school is 101.3 CFM. Wake up with Gorney and Ash Pollo for breakfast. Full of pranks, real talk and passion for the community and local initiatives. Start your day with Gorney and Ash Pollo from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. weekdays. That's an important goal. That makes things very difficult for Jeremy Buckley's men in blue. Again, since the end of the first quarter, Terrigal Avoca have really flipped the foot down. And it's very hard. Warners Bay have got to pull something really out of the fire here.
Well, it's been a matter of Terrigal Avoca getting the fast starts and then Warners Bay in the latter part of the quarter trying to maintain parity, David. And looks like it's going to be the story once again. Back to the middle. Delahunty over the top, almost sharked there by Nickel, can't quite get there. Terrigal Avoca once again worked this ball forward to Bury. Stuart manning him, gets it to Bird to the outer side, gets a little scrubby kick off the ground, goes out of bounds on the bounce. So we'll have a throw in just inside forward 50 for Terrigal Avoca.
Over
3
there,
minutes
over
gone.
there, a lake air in the corner. Gee, there's some water there. Gibbs wins that tap out towards the Hoff. Hoff head over the football, must be a free kick. You're entitled to put your head over it. You shouldn't duck, but he did. He just put his head over the footy. Vastly experienced Tim Hoff. Long ball to Francis. Can't quite get there, Francis. Vo roving. Willis in there. That's Clark with the Ronaldo tactics, and they'll go out of bounds on centre wing.
Started slipped trying to get to that initial marking contest too, so there's obviously, as you'd expect, a little moisture under the surface here.
Boundary umpire Nakagawa. Good throw in. Gibbs uses his bulk in front of Delahunty. Studdert goes backwards. That's an interesting decision. Can Warners Bay make him pay for a mistake? Off their feet, Butler. He's not going to get a kick in there. He did somehow. Unbelievably got a kick in. Barlow. That should be a holding the ball decision for Terrigal Avoca. And paid to Brad Studdert. Good tackle, wasn't it?
It was, and the umpire indicating it was a throw afterwards too, and that's just pitched in front of Formby and will go out of bounds.
Just. That was like 15 centimetres of bounce in, but good decision by the bounce jumper. Although he's got his positioning wrong. That throw-in should be 10 metres around to the right where the ball went over the line. Anyway, Barlow got the sit here, gets that one out to Anderson. Their veterans have got to really produce a couple of quick ones here, Lucas. It's 4.25 minutes into the first quarter. Terrigal Avoca, where they want to be 20 points up, especially in this weather. They'll try and shut you down. That's what they do. Barlow left-handed, lovely tap. Not read, however, by Willis. Should be a marquee to Quinn. Now, if they're going to pay 50 metres for Joel Charlton Brennan earlier, that should have been 50. It's not. It's ridiculous. Clark in and there. Oh, has he gone and tried to take them on? Oh, umpire blew out his whistle in his mouth, I'll tell you. Out of their arms. Oh, no contest made by Bury, surely. What has McKenna got to do? McKenna was the only person going that ball. Free kick here, Studdert Matthew. Why is that 50 metres? Is the only thing that could be was that the umpire said that the Warners Bay player in Quinn has gone over the mark. I swear blind to you that Quinn was stationary on the mark. Gibbs has got to walk away here. I know he's got a man next to him. Studdert. Got to keep going, Gibbs now. He's got to chase his man. Sorry, don't agree with that decision. I'm astonished, actually. Matthew Studdert, long way out. Good kick. Great kick, actually, in this weather. Bury in the front. That's a mark. That should have been a mark to Terrigal Avoca, I reckon. I thought he got all 4 touches on that. Great step out there from Neil. Throw. No, it's a free kick to Warners Bay here. Perhaps over the shoulder. So it's got to come back to Neil. A couple of astounding decisions that are just inexplicable to me. We'll push on. John Sullivan, the great man in the background, over 1,000 games in this region. Central umpiring, goal umpiring. What a career, Lucas.
Indeed, David. Shows amazing officials we have in this region. Pushed out there, McKenna by Formby. Gibbs picks it up off the ground, gets a long kick, left footer. Butler was in front, can't quite get there. Arms picks it off. It's a very dangerous kick in the middle. Gets there just. Left boot to the other side now. Francis chasing. Scoos, you don't catch him very often. Steps inside into his favoured right. Goes long. Over the back there. It was well read by Neil, actually, to pick it off. Nickel dances inside of 1. Inside of 2, that'll go to Gibbs on the chest. Can't quite get there. Very good effort in the defence, actually. Bird does very well to draw his Shipley in. Gets it back to Bird. Is there a whistle in the background? Maybe. Gibbs is down, actually. Arms will pick this off once more. Willis will mark on the 50. Plays on, and there's a whistle in the background. What's happened?
Is that another 50-metre penalty? Again, I was actually watching Kane Gibbs. He's down with a bad... That knee is not good, which is not a good sign. He's had problems with his knees and ankles. But I don't understand the 50. Did you see a reason for a 50, Lucas, to be honest?
I'm not so sure with that one, David.
I've got to be careful, comedy, because I didn't see it. So
I'm not sure with that one either, David, so we'll just go with that one and umpire luck.
I reckon Kane Gibbs has got a not overly serious injury. He's trying to stay out there and be brave. Warners Bay do need him. Arms. Goes wide. Beautiful kick. That's really should be a free kick against Clark for interference, not paid. Over there is Shaw. Comes inside. Picked off by Stewart. Very clever player.
Yep.
Just seeing where Kane Gibbs is at the moment. He's stayed out there, Lucas. He's put the bit between the teeth. Good Mark Francis down low. Again, he's been a good player. He was outstanding last week. He would have got 3 votes from me, Lucas, if there was a 3-2-1. I thought he was superb.
Yeah, likewise with me, David was probably the best player on the ground last week. Picked off that time, didn't quite stick the mark. Neil ducks and gets the ball to the outer side. Bird and Stewart there are waiting. Can't quite get there. Slid in with the feet first. Did Foley. Thought that may have been illegal, however, it wasn't paid to Nickel, who needs to stand up in this second quarter for Warners Bay to overpower Terrigal Avoca. Gibbs staying forward now, lost a little bit of his agility there. Still did very well to corral his opponent. You can see he's grimacing in pain there. In front of there, Govern can't quite stick the tackle. Probably went for the bump more than the tackle, David, which probably hampered him there. Stewart has marked that.
That's a superb one-handed mark, Lincoln Stewart. Oh, have they not paid that mark?
No.
And he's not actually fussy. I thought he took that one-handed over his shoulder, to be honest.
Unless there was a touch in front
Yeah,
first.
and Stewart didn't remonstrate at all, so leave that one. No problems. Barlow, right-handed, gets the tap out. Roach, reading it best, goes Ronaldo tactics. Message coming in from somebody. Roach, good work, Clark. Very disciplined there, thumps that out. However, Warners Bay needs to put scoreboard pressure on. Lucas, I'll get you a score from up at Rose Point, if you could take control, please, sir.
Thank you, David. Jody Henderson asking the Ruckman and Rava to nominate. Indeed, they do. In front, and the front was unattended, was Farquhar, I thought, sprays it across the face of goal. So it'll be out of bounds on the full free kick to Ryan Clark, David.
Very similar. The entrance Batter Bay's kicked one more goal. So the entrance Batter Bay, 5-8-38. Newcastle City 2-2-14, and that would be a big upset. 24 points of difference at Rose Point. That's going to be a very tough score. If Newcastle City extricate themselves from that, they're a genius.
Yeah, very similar situation to this game here as Kane Gibbs makes his way to the bench, David, too, so that he's finally succumbed to that knee injury by the looks of it.
Indeed. He's getting looked at now. Warners Bay need him out there. You're right, he's wounded. Barlow. Ball comes out, left foot kick, goes up towards Link Stewart over here in front of us. Goes over the top and will be a boundary throw in. Exactly where Terrigal Avoca want the football to be. They're going down Breeze. Breeze is about, well, it's certainly not Maitland level, but it's certainly there. 5 to 10 clicks, I'd imagine. Bottom right to top left of screen is the, again, that's a bullet of throw in. And it's going to be rethrown.
No, it's a free kick, I thought, for a third. No, it's not going to be advantage, I thought. It wasn't continuous, so they'll go back. Yeah, so there's a third person up, free kick, because the free kick's gone to the Ruckman, David.
Yep. Good call, Lucas.
Trainer Anna Bartlett just looking down there, looking for Gibbs to see what the issue is. It looked like it was a knee, David. We could see that directly in front of us here.
Right knee or right quad from what I could see. Barlow with the kick, so you're right. Good spot, Lucas Holmes, third man up. Stewart going to get a chance. Whoever that was, Francis got his play to ground. Should go back to Stewart here. Needed to be perfect and wasn't. And here come Terrigal Avoca, and they create an excellent stoppage, all because of one errant handball. He tried the look-away handball where a normal handball looking his player would have been required, I thought.
Was the right idea, just the wrong execution on that circumstance.
Warners Bay should be running off Barlow. Barlow's got 5 inches on his play here. In fact, Kirkman wins the ruck. There you go. Formby, left-footed. One-handed. Bury from distance. Oh, good lead. Touched off hands, I thought. And correct. So Terrigal Avoca shooting not real good today. They're still on top. Terrigal Avoca, 4 goals, 10-34. Warners Bay, 2-1-13. Lucas Holmes.
Thank you, David. Back to Ryan Clark, who's almost played exclusively behind the football this morning. Probably the right move tactically from Jeremy Buckley. Plays onto the natural side and wheel around to his right. Looking for Govern. Stewart's there, and there's a disposal down the ground, so it'll be a downfield free kick against the player on the mark just to the top right of screen there, Fitzgerald. Free kick going to the way of Pat Quinn.
Same score at Rose Point Park, 24 points the difference to TEBB.
Quinn, long down the line. Charlton Brennan's at the back there. Doesn't get quite to him. It does in the end, actually. Touched off hands first, and another secondary stoppage. Ball up. Almost true centre wing here, with the sun really starting to peek through the clouds here, especially on this near side to us. All the ground, Green, over the football, can't quite take full possession.
How good is their tackling? You can see why they haven't lost a game in 2 years, can't you? You can just see it in the front, right in front of us.
1%'ers discipline's been right up there today as well, David.
Except for 150-metre penalty.
Yep.
And if you look at that in the context of this game, Warner's Bay's got 1 goal in general play.
Yep.
The other one was from a
That
bit of distance.
50-metre penalty early on.
Yeah, exactly, with a goal at Charlton Brennan. Throw in coming here, centre wing, Barlow over Tiley, who's at the back. All Terrigal Avoca. Roach will try and get on his left. In comes Willis, puts a legal bump on.
He's in the side, so it was legal, David.
Was indeed. Bury, who's Stewart's done well on today, but at least Bury's given him something. Bird goes off his non-dominant side. Lovely kick out there. Beautiful kick to Govan. Warner's Bay's got to go. They've got to take the bit between the terrible kick, really. Neil, listening. That's a half volley, but just fell short. That sort of sums up Warner's Bay's day to day. And a chest mark taken here by Tiley. Warner's Bay just can't get that ball past 50. And with Gibbs off, it really reduces their forward line options. Here's a chance. Stewart tries to beat a tackle, gets a handball out, doesn't get a handball out. Good tackle by Shaw. There's a sense of inevitability at the moment about this game. You just feel it. Shaw goes wide. Red by skews off hands, drops it. Hoff drives it long. Another mark missed there. Just over Govan's head. Shipley, short. Perfect to Tiley. Looks like he comes from Forrester as a Womble with that haircut. Out there coming wide, Clark, as Lucas Holmes has explained today, he's done a very good job, and he's also in front, Louis. Out he comes, he tries his body on Skews. Now he's dragged out and he's in trouble and should be gone, I reckon. Oh, wow. Free kick Warner's Bay's way that time.
For a high contact. Must have been that right arm over Clark's right shoulder that I didn't see here.
Yep. Henderson's 150 metres closer, so he'll stay out of that one.
Yep.
Bird, a couple of the other ones have been a little bit more blatant, I thought. Bird's been very solid today. He's moved up forward here. He's going to kick that out for the baseball coach. Tyler's in front. That's 50. That was a mark, and he has dragged him down after the marking contest. Under the rules of football, that's a 50-metre penalty to Tiley. Not paid. Tiley sitting over there on halfback. He'll kick this towards the baseball coach, I imagine. Goes past the baseball coach. Screw's trying to leap at the back. Almost unreasonable, but eventually almost going to hand it. Nicola has been brilliant. Stewart, who's also been good, gets a third handball. Typical Link Stewart kick, 15 metres and sideways. Out that ball comes to Dart, gets a handball out, but where are the forwards? They're just all behind. Good tackle, jump. Brennan, however, does the chasing down and this is what Warner's Bay need. If they're going to be any chance, they really have to kick goals and kick them now. Forward from shot, and look at this. Typical Terrigal Avoca. Swarming in defence. Formby plays under the Chris Bishop system. Takes a mark. Gee, it's hard to score against them.
Sure is, David. He'll wheel around and go long down the line. Thank you. Over the head of Francis. Taken there by Foley. True centre wing. Expecting his teammates to crowd that wing to get some numbers down the line. Where he's going to kick to. No, changes his mind. Goes that 45-degree kicking board to Tiley rather. Been instrumental in the last 5 or so minutes.
Quickly. Another goal, Newcastle City. Terrigal Avoca, Engines Battle Bay 5-8-38. Newcastle City 3-3-21. Lucas at Rosepoint Park.
Bury evades Stewart there, but Hoff takes the intercept mark. It was a judge a half volley because immediately played on. Farquhar goes off the ground, gets infringed slightly. Goes to Quinn. Quinn held by Scoos. Legally, says the umpire. Dropped there by Nickel, not paid. Scoos left boot and smothered off the boot by Vo. Vo will use that left arm to fend. Almost dropped the ball, and that's the decision.
Good decision.
Yep. Scoos, no. Farquhar issuing the instructions goes the way of Studdert. Brad Studdert. Kick from about 47, 46 metres out from goal. Going to be a tough kick just because of the football.
I wanted to bring out the barrel here. I don't think he can get the distance in this weather from 50.
Wouldn't have thought so either. That's going to drop short just. A fairly good kick. In fact, it goes out on the full, David, so did get the distance. The radar just off slightly. Clark and the mark will go back in line with the edge of the square. It'll be a free kick once again to Ryan Clark, deep in Warner's Bay's defensive 50.
Player on the mark's got to be in line with the back of the square, hasn't he?
He has. He was that time. Short in the pocket, opposite pocket for Hoff. And he's got to go down the line. Barlow's there, he chips. That's very dangerous, but finds Quinn on the chest. Could almost go again to Bird, ignores him, goes square. to where it all started. To Nickel this time. Nickel will chip over the man on the mark once again. Short, contested. Neil couldn't quite take that. Farquhar, outside of his boot, very skillful Farquhar, hits Tylee on the chest. Bravo, in front of Clark. Tyler will go back and have a shot on goal. Vo doesn't have to pick the football up. And a goal here is, you'd almost think the game's done if they get this through.
Couldn't agree more. Time left in the quarter, please, scorers. Just under a minute.
It's almost a nail in the coffin. Farquhar, coach of the Terrigal.
Oh, another one. This is a fair dinkum 50-metre-a-thon. Tylee, for some reason, has got another 50-metre penalty, and that's a goal, and I would suggest to you that's going to be yibbity-yibbita, but I still don't understand what the 50 was for. Gracious me, they've thrown them out today. Terrigal Avoca 5-10-40, Warners Bay 2-1-13. Almost at the end of the quarter, 18.5 minutes elapsed time. And goodness me, some things today that have happened just a little bit inexplicable from my perspective, but anyway, we'll just have to wait and see how we go with that. I didn't see anything for a 50 there. There must have been something happened right, very subtle. Anyway, it's 27 points the difference here, right at the end of the third quarter. It's very hard to see Warners Bay pulling out. They'd have to pull out a 5 or 6 goal quarter, Louis, to win. Gibbs back out there. Siren is imminent. Handball comes out. Interesting handball, actually. Out of there comes Neils, getting a lot of touches today. Got to get in front. Gray's got a chance now. Here they come. Got to put a tackle on. Good smothered Willis. Daniel Gray's got over the football and gets a kick. Just by being in front. And this is such a tough kick in this weather. So you're going to have a very good shot at this. Daniel Gray would actually fancy himself here, Lucas. Doesn't mind a pot shot. And there is, in fact, the end of the third quarter. So if ever there was an after the siren kick that needs to be kicked, this is it for Gray. Does he go drop punt? Does he go check side?
Almost has to go drop punt because it's after the siren, but he doesn't. And he's going to curve that back. Just not enough.
I've got that as a point, and I've got the score as Terrigal Avoca 5-10-40 and Warners Bay 2-2-14. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with you shortly for the last quarter here at Adelaide Street Oval. So welcome back to Adelaide Street Oval and Tumbiumbi. As the rain's just started, unfortunately, again, coming in from the south. Score update, Lucas James Holmes for you. The late goal to the entrance Bateau Bay. So the entrance Bateau Bay, 6-8-44, leading Newcastle City 3-3-21. Jimmy Newburn in commentary with us. Good morning, Jimmy. You were saying the Spies have told us there's a 3-goal breeze and City kicking with it?
Yeah, Scott Reed apparently is down there. Obviously, his dad's involved with Bateau. So three-goal win. Was it 4-goal margin now? So it could be if City can get one early, it could be very interesting. But on the flip side, if Bateau can get one into the win.
Just about ready to go in the fourth quarter here, but I'm surrounded by Collingwood supporters, and James Newburn's on his way to Lotto Land this afternoon to watch his beloved boys against Melbourne. He's got a Manly hat on as well. I don't know what to do. Manly and Collingwood in the same box. Help me. Just about ready to go. The weather is not good here. Just come in again, unfortunately. Lucas was commenting on the pale sunshine that we had in the third quarter. And over to Lucas Holmes.
Thank you, David. Back to the middle we go. Gibbs back out there in the ruck this time. Gets the left hand down. Delahunty butters up for more. Goes to the outer side. Quinn in another. Gets the ball now. Deverell's beaten at the back. Can't quite get there in the end. Vo, front and centre, as he often does. Tries to grab the ball out of the middle. Green. Ducks attackable. Now have to get rid of this. Does. Goes back to Vo. Francis in and under. Will get wrapped up. And Green's down in the background too there, David.
Yeah, let's just hope he can get up quickly there. Holmes, Newburn and Redden, a deadly trifecta in the commentary box. Back to you, Louis.
Thank you. Gibbs looks to have recovered well from that knee. Gets it down out of the ruck. Deverell at the front gets dragged out, and that's where the free kick's going to be paid. Right in the centre square circles here, sorry.
Jimmy, as someone that's spent a lot of time with Warners Bay, it must do you the world of good to see another Deverell playing.
Yeah, the third one. Harry's obviously the fastest of the three, but yeah, we played against him. I think his first game of Resi's football at the start. He tore us up a little bit, 15-year-old. Obviously good pedigree, Johnny Deverell, being a 6-time premiership player.
Indeed. Over to you, Louis.
Thank you. Back to Neil this time. Inside forward 50. Cleared immediately there by Formby off the ground. Gets very good purchase off that. Scoos gets buffeted out to begin with. Gets back, Scoos. Gets dragged off the ball legally to get the ball forward, though. Bird does very well to get his play to the outer side. Tilly, it's right in front of us here. Roach. Mark taken deep by Hoff.
That happened about 25 times last week. Tim Hoff just gets back into those spots, into the goalkeeper spot there and cuts it off.
Well, in fact, last week they let him play loose across half-back, which Lucas picked up early on, and that was the pivotal in that game.
100%. He's so experienced, Hoffy, and you don't really sort of takes you in and then he'll slot back out himself. And we probably lax from me and myself and Stewie Cameron probably didn't pick it up early enough, and yeah, he tore us up.
And the ball will be stoppage just outside forward 50 here for Warners Bay. Need a goal early, gentlemen. Imperative for them to get this scoreboard rolling to get back into this game. Delahunty gets the right hand down. Picked off there by McKenna. They've swung him forward by the looks of it as well. Contested there, Butler. Allowed to play on. Clark's gone forward now as well, David, so that's an immediate change.
Yes, it is. Interesting to see McKenna's up there on the ball. They've got to throw everything they can forward and onto the ball. They've got their best players here. Nichols has been outstanding today, but they just can't get enough. I mean, they've kicked 2 goals, and they've kicked 1 goal in general play and 1 from a 50. So it's just one of those day today. Formby at the back. And this backline, and their backline structures are superb, Lucas. And you can see that goes pivotals all the way through their club. And their women's side are starting, and like this year, they've made an enormous step this year. And, you know, they'll be stronger for that finals beating last week, don't you worry. Francis, is that out on the full, Louis? It's over there towards the creek and inside.
Right in. Now, from a Warners Bay perspective, David, you'd almost rather getting all their resources forward. You'd almost rather getting beat by 10 goals and rather just getting ground away and trying to work their way back into the contest.
Yeah, Luke McKenna and Ryan Clark, obviously, they can play both ends. Luke McKenna played a lot of first-grade football at centre-half forward and full forward. He's got a fantastic leap and grab on him, so I know it's wet, but roll the dice and have a crack, I guess.
Down to the base of the football there. Gets out to the outer side now. Gets wrapped up. Did he get rid of it?
No, he did not. What an excellent tackle, Louis, that was. Is that Quinn?
Yeah.
And were you saying that Quinn was playing at the Australian Championships for New South Wales? Is that what you were saying for touch last week? Or for Australia?
No, I think it was it was a state.
A state champs, okay.
Yep.
Tight angle out there. Got to kick it. Got to kick it. Misses to the right. Warners Bay, 2-4-16. Terrigal Avoca, 5-10-40. I'll hand back to Jimmy here. I'll get you both an updated score from from Rose Point Park.
So, ball's just getting retrieved from behind the goals here.
Terrigal just taking their time bringing that back in. He's walking back with it now.
Same score, guys.
Yes. Score update from Rose Point Park at Singleton, ladies and gentlemen. Newcastle City 3-3-21, trailing entrance Battle Bay 6-8-44. Early doors in the last quarter here. Wheels around Formby on his natural side, goes long and high. Govern's at the back. Charlton Brennan as well. McKenna's at the front there. Went down a little softly, I thought, but gets the free kick for a push in the back.
Bit of experience there from Luke McKenna. It's a bit soft, that one, but we'll take it.
Drives the ball inside forward 50 at the back there. Uncontested. Was that Formby? Yes, it was. Picks it off. You'd think he'd go out the other side. In one side, out the other. Indeed, that's what he does. Found Shipley on the lead. Takes the mark on his chest. Shipley. Very interesting kick. Short. Was it the required distance as it is? Delahunty. Shipley running off for more. Ignored by Delahunty. We'll switch it even more. Who's he found there? No one in particular. Great pick up there through the middle. Gets the ball forward. This more Smith. Thank you. Out of the back there. Bird. Can he keep his feet? Screws with the no-look handball. Studied in on open. Goal! And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure if that was Matthew or Brad. It was Matthew in the end. Thank you, David. Goal for Matthew started and for Terrigal Avoca. Game's almost sewn up here, you would think. Terrigal Avoca, 6-10-46. Warners Bay, 2-4-16.
With thanks to our sponsors, Central Coast Physiotherapy, Bar TV Sports, Subway Morisset, and Tyre Power, sponsors of the umpires across Australia.
Leash.
Just doing a bit of a switch around with microphones at the moment, so I've got the headphones back. Sorry if they come across a bit softly, so we've just switched those microphones over. Jimmy Newburn and Lucas Holmes with David Redden here and Kendall Clawson. Ball back into the centre. 6 minutes gone in the quarter, and Terrigal Avoca can start playing for a grand final at Newcastle #1 next week. And with the expected weather supposed to be excellent next week as well. Roach.
Very hard to beat next week, I think, Terrigal, Dave.
Yeah. Local derby, Terrigal Avoca in the entrance. Another kick coming out here. Beautiful pass. And marked very easily out there by Fitzgerald. He's out. His kick will be no more than 30 metres out when he takes kick. Maybe 35 when he takes his kick. It's a tough kick. It's straight into the breeze and into what rain is falling at the moment.
Lincoln Stewart back on near the goal line for Warners Bay there, so he'll be hoping to get a finger on it. Him and Tim Hoff, was it Luke Govan?
And Luke Bury, who happens to be being played today as well back there. Fitzgerald. I thought he sliced that. And has. It's another behind Terrigal Avoca. Terrigal Avoca 6-11-47. And Warners Bay 2-4-16. So the last 4 goals of the game to Terrigal Avoca, and they're pretty much just confirming how good they've been this year. This has been a tough ask for them. Warners Bay have asked a lot of questions. Gibbs comes flying. That is such a courageous mark there by Kirkman. Gibbs couldn't have done much more. Kirkman stands true. Goes wide. Roach is on. Oh, good mark. Jumped up in the air and took it high on his chest. Now, from memory, Roach is left-footed. And he's going to take this kick right down Kendall's camera angle here. He'll have a really good shot of this. Now, with this breeze, James, he's going to have to kick this to the right-hand post. That breeze is going across him. Let's see.
For sure. This is Scott Reed Dane Amity's side of the ground this. They love it from here.
They do. Roach, that looks good. That looks superb! And Terrigal Avoca on their way to another grand final. And they're still undefeated in 2 years.
It's like you heard you there, David. Exactly where you said to put it. It's like you've watched a lot of football, Dave.
Terrigal Avoca, 7-11-53, Warners Bay 2-4-16. I might have watched a little bit of football, yeah. No, Louis, that's all right, mate. Go.
Bar TV Sports, the specialist in live streaming and broadcasting of sport, including AFL Hunter Central Coast. Bar TV Sports, making your game the main game.
And indeed, 37 points of difference here. It's hard. This Terrigal Avoca side, again, when I saw the side that was named, you see players like Luke Bury. There's a whistle here. Must be a 6-6-6. Is that against the runner, Lucas Holmes? Are the water runners allowed inside the arc? Or was there no one in the square?
I think it was 6-6-6. I think Mikey Vo might have stepped outside the 50. I think it's just going to be a warning.
Okay, so it's a warning, yep. And it's in Warner's base attacking 50. That's fine. Gibbs, no. The Hunty comes over the top. Brilliantly read. Scoose again. Gee, he's done that well today. Might have a bit of experience, that fella. Start it, steps inside, steps one, steps two, goes with the backwards handball, back to Scoos, off one step, smothered. Back here towards Shaw in 66. Out the ball comes. Deverell trying to put his head over the football. Good tackle, Shipley. Doesn't commit a sling, and it is a ball up. In a minute, Jimmy, I'll get you to give that over to Louis because I'll go and get a score for everybody over there. This game looks to be pretty much done and dusted as well as score-wise. Warners Bay won't stop, I'll tell you that right now. Roach just kicked a beautiful goal over here in this in the Drano pocket. Handball's out from Roach. Stewart, perhaps playing his last game of football today. Scoos sitting back at quarterback, waiting, watching. Deverell, a good tackle. Good pressure. Francis goes down. Deverell gets the squeeze ball. Out he comes.
Harry Deverell's done really, really well there against Scoosy, who's a fantastic player.
Indeed. Neil, left footer. Got to be in front. And it's been one of the catalysts all day for Terrigal. They've just been in front in the back line all day. Quinn picks that off. 10 minutes gone. If you can hand the microphone over to Louis. Louis, I'll get over to you while Quinn takes that kick and get you a score.
Uses that invasive action as Quinn goes deep inside forward 50. However, repelled again. Terrigal Avoca defence taken out there by Govan was Foley. Bounces back for more. Francis running back with the flight of the football. Quinn gets it down in front. Here's Roach. He'll go back onto that left boot. Nice chipping ball. Must just gone the required 15. Shipley plays on immediately. Will go long inside. Forward 50 for Terrigal Avoca. Goes over the back. Here's Bird. Gets down to Vo. Vo immediately clears. Trapped there by Neil. Couldn't quite get there. In fact, it was Quinn. Ran into his own play. Did Roach. Uses that nice culture left boot. Gets it over the top. Ducked into that one by Bury. So that should be allowed to play on and does. And marked uncontested in the end. It was Baker. And Baker. That's going to be a very tough kick for Baker. Man on the marks. 47, 48 metres out from goal, David. Farquhar remonstrating there with Vo. It's an interesting one, and we have a score check, David. Entrance Bato Bay looking home and hose, possibly here. 6-8-44 to Newcastle City 3-4-22. Short chipping ball to Scoos. And almost a tough wrangle, almost kicking into the teeth of the breeze, David.
That's a very tough kick. But if there's anyone that could kick it into the teeth of a wind, I would love to have seen him at his absolute peak playing for East Coast. This bloke's got such good skills. And even into his late 30s, he's a very handy play player, put it that way, Lucas Holmes. And you were commenting about it off air, the fact he's playing again. Gets that underneath that one a bit. Oh, Mark! That's a mark to Bury on a very, very, very tough angle. Now, he's got 10 metres. Vo's as close as he's allowed. That's closer than 10, not just quietly. Is he going to go? I reckon he's looking check side here, Louis. Right foot, check side kick. And Warners Bay will rush at him if he plays on. Plays on, kicks it. Lovely work, Luke Bury. Thought about it, went through his processes, and kicks a lovely goal. Terrigal Avoca 8-11-59. Warners Bay 2-4-16. We've got about 6 minutes left in this quarter. And again, it's not a surprise to anyone in this box at the moment that Terrigal Avoca have played such good football. Warners Bay have certainly been game today, but just too good, James.
Yeah, they're so well drilled. Chris Bishop started that probably 10, 11 years ago when he first took over. As you said before, you can see it through the whole club. Even their under-17s, I think, finished first and are into the grand final as well under Corey Hopper, a similar style coach. And the club's in pretty good shape. It's obviously the benchmark for everyone else.
Indeed. Still 22 points of difference at Rose Point Park in Singleton. Tap out comes Tiley, who's been quite solid and got better as the game's gone along. Corey Deverell scurries off the field, running the water for Warners Bay. Out in front of us, Fitzgerald thumps it forward. The machine's in full. Oh, one-hander Bury. That's a special mark in this weather. Goodness gracious, Jimmy.
There's not much Ian Bird could have done there. He played it pretty well. Lincoln Stewart was getting to the back, and Bury one-hander. Fantastic.
And again, Kendall's camera will be perfect for this. Now, the wind's died off a bit from when Jack Roach took that kick. He's still got to kick this. Probably just inside the right goalpost, Bury, and let the breeze do its work. Beautiful view on Kendall's shots. We'll let the camera do the talking. And misses to the right. Terrigal Avoca 8-12-60. Warners Bay 2-4-16. 13 and a half minutes gone. Quarter number 4. James, you would think you would say after playing against them both here, if it is Terrigal in the entrance, Terrigal strong favourites.
Oh, definitely. 2 years undefeated as well, but we played Bato way back in round 1, so it's probably hard to judge from my point of view there. But yeah, the Terrigal definitely the best side, and judged by today, the conditions they've still kicked kicked 8 goals in pretty sloppy weather, so pretty well drilled, and you'd think they go in as favourites.
Roach gets that ball up towards 50, up towards Farquhar. Francis picks that off. Over towards the baseball coach. Roach in front of Willis. Tries to put a step on. Could have been paid against Charlton Brennan there. Quinn turns inside at the side of... Started coming in on him. And it's a ball up over in the baseball coach. Lucas Holmes.
It's an interesting one too, David. James just touched on it there. I think the last time Warners Bay played Terrigal Avoca in the plate was round 1 as well. So it was a long time between these two sides that played each other as well.
Actually, speaking to Jeremy Buckley during the week, that's exactly right. It was, it's 4 or 5 months ago they played.
Just the way the draw works, I guess, with 13 sides, I think it is. You only play a few teams twice, so...
McKenna screws that round. Clark should have taken that chest mark. It was almost uncontested at the end. Hoff's gone forward, looking for a goal. Backman's will be sacked from the back. Well, good tap out from Butler. That was clever. Hoff. Can he kick a goal, Hoff? No, it screws around. It sort of sums up the day for Warners Bay. Warners Bay 2-5-17. Terrigal Avoca 8-12-60. 15 minutes gone in the last quarter. Again,
it's almost the whole back line going forward now, Dave, with I think McKenna, Clark, Hoff, Butler's even gone forward as well. So.
That's exactly right. Out wide into the death pocket. Shaw. Been solid today, Shaw. Kicked a goal. Good work, Francis. This bloke can play football, Francis. Hopefully he's got some first grade coming in his next couple of years, although that one's out of bounds. While that ball's out of bounds, Lucas and Jimmy, score check. So the entrance batter Bay are putting the shutters down. I would suggest to you they've got 2 blokes behind the ball. And with, as Jimmy said, with that ball, with them coming down against the Breeze, I would suggest to you they're just doing a shutdown job. That again, that's a big upset. If that happens, that's big.
Well, a month ago, the entrants were gone a month ago. They had all the injuries and they'd lost a few games they should have won. Warners Bay beat them down at Fane Oval. And
well, they could hardly get a 22 blokes against... You would have umpired that game, didn't you, Lucas? Yeah, so remarkable. And considering they've gone Musselbrook, Singleton the last 3 weeks, they've got some frequent fly points up as well. Lovely little shimmy by Charlton Brennan. Here goes Clark, running up and down in the one spot. A bit like watching James Newburn last week in his 300.
It was... Guys of our size, David, we're more there for strength, not for speed. So Ryan Clark, a very classy player, Clark. I coached Ryan through under 16s and 18s. Very, very handy player. He didn't like me too much because I always put him at centre half back because he was too valuable there, but obviously very valuable forward as well.
Francis gets that ball that'll go out of bounds on the bounce, otherwise it would have been a free kick. Jimmy, while Lucas and I got you, sincere congratulations to both of us on a wonderful achievement, 300 games across 2 clubs. You must be very proud.
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, look, it's for a kid that come out just for one season, I guess, back in 2004, and Andrew Larkin and Steve May, probably the reason I stayed in it. And yeah, it's quite good to get there. The old body's feeling. I'm not sure how many more games I've got left in it, but I've got to stay involved with coaching and whatnot if I don't play. I'm not sure if I'll play next year, but no doubt be down here, down Adelaide Street again. It's been fantastic 2 years down here after 15 years at Warners Bay. So yeah, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Pleasure. It's great to see you carried off. I'm glad I wasn't one of those carried on my shoulders would have handled you, I don't think, big boy. Although that's pod kettle.
Dane Amity and Matt Weaver drew the short straws, I guess, and did that. Big Warwick Jackson would have been one, but he's a bit tall for whoever else would have had to carry with him. So I appreciate that.
We've only got about 60 or 90 seconds left. Your quick tip for the AFL Grand Finalists, please. Who will be the AFL Grand Finalists?
I think Richmond's probably, they've hit form at the right end of the year. I'd love to see Brisbane make it. I'd love to see Brisbane beat Richmond next week at the home prelim, but I guess Geelong, I just seem to have fallen away. I'll go Richmond and Brisbane, repeat of week 1.
Thank you for that. I think Richmond will win it. I'm not sure who's going to be in there. Perhaps Geelong. The fact that Geelong don't have to leave Victoria at all is huge, unless they lose for week 1. And here's a goal. Lovely little snap there from Jared Neal. And Neal kicks that goal right at the death. He's been quite solid today in a beaten side.
A handy player, Jared Neal. Very, very handy.
And our score check is, look, if you hand over to Louis, Luke Terrigal Avoca, 8-12-60, Warners Bay 3-5-23. Right at the death of this quarter. Yeah. And while, Lucas, if you could take over a sec, I'll go back and refresh and get everybody a score from Rose Point Park, where Terrigal Avoca's doing a holding job. Really good one. Just see if I can get a result come up here.
First year player too, Jared Neal, first year in the game of Australian rules football, so very well developed. Played a few games of Premier Division this year as well.
He's one of the bigger upsets in the Black Diamond Plate. In fact, in the whole competition the entire year. It looks like the entrance Bateau Bay are holding Newcastle City and going to qualify for a grand final. I think we called them a couple of years ago against Musselbrook in a great plate game, our first plate game all together. But very close to being a big upset there, and the people at Newcastle City will not be impressed. But well done, the entrance Bateau Bay. Jimmy Newburn's very upset about that as well. Deverell gets a kick out, but Skews reads it beautifully. Over towards open pasture. Stewart's read it best over Bury. That's been a good contest all day. Good tackle, however. Umpire says over... Sorry, my bad. I was obscured there. Umpire said that's over the shoulder to the redoubtable Lincoln Stewart. And again, played representative football for Black Diamond Cup in 2018. Did a very solid job against a very, very talented AFL Canberra side, weren't they, Louis? There's some very handy players that day.
Sure were, David.
Very, very handy. 19 and a half minutes elapsed gone. Not long left in the match. Oh, that's dangerous. Charlton Brennan makes best of a very dicey situation. That's a James Newburn kick if ever saw. A nice little reverse torp. Deverell, can he put his head over the football? He does. Good tackle, Deverell. Very good play. And play on. That's continuous. Govan goes. Good decision, umpire. Good play. Clark's trying to get an Academy Award there for saying he was dragged out of it. Didn't get it. Over here towards McKenna. Can he pick the ball up? He's dragged over the top of the shoulder and we'll get a free kick, Luke McKenna. 20 minutes gone, elapsed time in this quarter. Not long left. And Terrigal Avoca will be booking himself a spot at Newcastle number 1 next week, Lucas.
Yeah, I think motioning Craig Welsh was saying there's about 2 minutes remaining, David.
Thank you. Over to you, mate.
Thank you. Scrubby kick to this outer side. It's going to beat both McKenna to the boundary line. So we'll have another boundary throw. And the ball's actually maintained on this commentary box wing sort of majority of this game, David, as well. So that was an interesting observation early on.
And again, when the rain stops for a little while, this drainage is so good that they're actually playing some reasonable footy at the moment. Yes, the ball's greasy, but you will be able to mark it. It's not pouring rain. Lincoln Stewart's gone for. If Lincoln Stewart kicks a goal in a final, look out. We will never. He's played on! And gracious me, can he kick a goal? No, kicked it like a typical. Is he kicked it out of bounds in the full? No, he hasn't. We will never hear the end of that if he kicked a goal. Warners Bay 3-6-24, Terrigal Avoca 8-12-60.
Although to defend Stewart on that occasion, he'd probably be more comfortable on the run than he would be from a set shot, David. That's probably the reason behind that.
He's probably more comfortable kicking with his left foot, let's face it, Lucas. Formby at the back.
Yeah, Lincoln Stewart, he obviously had a bit of a habit in first grade of running down the ground, which is fantastic having your back line at Zach. Marty Ryman used to pull his hair out every time he'd go down, but you give him a spray quarter time.
Holding the ball decision here given to Willis, and he'll take a free kick about 20 minutes out. Is that why Marty's got no hair?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you give him a spray at quarter time one day and then don't run down, Links stay in the back line, and 2 minutes into the last quarter, into the next quarter, Links run down and kick the goal and come straight back past the bench waving at Marty. So,
Marty Ryman, cheerio if you're listening, big fellow. I'm sure you are up there. You've got some work commitments this morning, so hello, Marty. Willis right in front. And he's not a long kick. Lucas Holmes has alluded to this before. He's not a long kick of the football, Willis. I reckon that's off to the right. And is Warners Bay 3-7-25. Terrigal Avoca 8-12-60. Look, Jimmy, can you hand over to Louis? I'll get a final update for everybody from Rose Point Park in Singleton. And they're continuing. I'm just a little bit concerned there's been no score at all. But it looks like live scoring's update. The entrance batter base still up by 21 actually. Lucas.
Yeah. Holding the ball decision against Luke McKenna to the skipper in Keegan Foley. Foley instructing his players to get down to this wing. That's where he's going to go long. Here in front of us, and that's full time, David. Terrigal Avoca have booked themselves a place in the Black Diamond Plate Grand Final with an 8-12-60 to 3-7-25 victory over Warners Bay here this morning at Adelaide Street Oval.
60-25, that sort of sums up the game. If you look at the goal kicking, Terrigal Avoca kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in a row before that late goal from Neil. And the defensive structures, they came ready to play. Warners Bay threw everything at them, and on the day, just too good from a very, very accomplished football side. On behalf of Jimmy Newburn and Lucas Holmes, I'm David Redden. We're going to have a short break now. We'll be back with you for the women's game, which I think, gentlemen, is going to be one of the best games of that. It's going to be a cracking game, especially if the ground dries up a bit and some of the more skillful players like Kelleher and Halverson and McDonald and Page can get their hands on the football, Edwards and Jones as well. Back with you shortly, and with thanks to Kendall, Louis and Jimmy, David Redden's my name. We'll be back with you in about 20 minutes.